something happened between then and now because his audience is gone and his talent was never there. That I can't argue with. Shut the up. The freedom of speech is only for me.
Kimmel, a.k.a. Jimmy Kimmel. And let me just start you out with this piece of tape right here.
Let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for science, for journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth and democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet.
I love how he gets choked up over Ukraine. He that's our allies in Ukraine. We might not be able to send money to endless war there anymore. It's so terrible, guys. This story moved so fast, I got whiplash trying to cover it. But let's start from the beginning real quick here with the genesis of the story, which started a couple days ago. This is September 17th. So about a week ago, a little over a week ago. Jimmy Kimmel just got fired for this monologue. What's baffling is that this must have been read by a ton of writers employed on the show. They just didn't think he was saying anything wrong. Here's the thing. And, a lot of people defended him, rightfully so, but he wasn't really saying anything wrong. He has a right to speculate that the guy was MAGA or whatever. And he shouldn't have lost. He shouldn't have been fired for saying anything. What he should have done is come back and corrected himself the next night or whatever. But let's watch some of the piece just to talk about it.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes.
After watching Trump smile while hugging Charlie Kirk's wife and seeing that footage of how kind of nonchalantly he blew off his death, it makes me wonder who's really behind it. Maybe it's not Israel. Maybe it's a little more sinister than that even. But let's keep going.
He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction.
So, that was more than anything a shot on Trump. And I don't think that what he said about, he's them trying to deny he's one of their own is really that big of a deal. And which makes me believe that, leads me to believe that more than anything, this is kind of a publicity stunt. And I think that the way that it moved so quickly kind of proves that. I kind of thought that initially, because now all of a sudden you have someone who is a martyr for free speech suddenly, which to the point that Matt Taibbi and Walter Kern made, good. Hey, now we're all on the same page. The best thing we can do now is go hey, great. It's great that you guys are finally with us on the free speech thing. Welcome to the party. We were here, but a lot of people on the right can't do that. They want to dunk on liberals now because the political ball has switched sides of the field. And that's fucking pathetic. But let's watch Jimmy was quickly rehired and, of course, got record ratings because this was a publicity stunt designed to generate record ratings. Why not? Why not use the political situation to your advantage?
Special friend. Moments after we taped our show last night, the Mad Red Hatter wrote, "I can't believe ABC Fake News gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back." You can't believe they gave me my job back. I can't believe we gave you your job back. And there's more. The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled. No, they weren't. Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone and his talent was never there. That I can't argue with. Shut the up. The freedom of speech is only for me.
That's pretty funny. He goes, that I can't argue with. See, I don't even completely hate Jimmy Kimmel. I actually went to a taping of Jimmy Kimmel's show years ago when I was married. Me and my ex-wife went to a taping because Incubus was the live band. And I distinctly remember the applause people. They're like, okay, you got to be applauding. Make sure you're clapping when the cameras come through. And I think it was Jimmy who said Jimmy Kimmel isn't a comedian. He's never done comedy without an applause side behind him. And I think that really rang true for me as someone who's been to a taping of his show and seen that reality firsthand.
Do not interrupt the president. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage? Who puts the network in jeopardy? You hear that? There's the threat again. This time straight from FCC Biscuit's mouth. He goes, he says, I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Only Donald Trump would try to prove he wasn't threatening ABC by threatening ABC. And you almost have to feel sorry for the people who work for him, who try to clean up the messes. They've been bending over backwards to say, oh, he never threatened. J.D. Vance today made the claim that what the FCC chairman said was a joke, which I don't know, maybe that was a joke. I don't know. They go to all these lengths to say, oh, it wasn't coerced.
I mean, it's pretty wild that the president just has a way that he can tweet shit out and bypass the news. So everyone can kind of read it for themselves and take it how they want. There's no tone to a social media post either. So you don't know if, like the Duran guy said earlier, he's being sarcastic about the Ukraine comments or whatever, but it's definitely weird times. So I do want to follow this up by showing you that your boy, Jimmy Kimmel, achieved the coveted record viewers from creating a political controversy award here. According to the good people at Discussing Film, Jimmy Kimmel's show had 6.3 million viewers last night, most watched regular episode ever, despite not being shown in some major U.S. cities. So some major cities apparently didn't air it, which I don't think is cool. But I did also want to show you before we close out tonight or today, because it's not nighttime quite yet. It's afternoon. Before we close out this afternoon, I lose track of time when I get to yapping, as you can tell. I just get to yapping and the whole day goes by before I even know what's going on. Here is Jimmy Kimmel celebrating the firing of Tucker Carlson, free speech mega hero. Jimmy Kimmel celebrating the firing of Tucker Carlson back in 2023. Now, I want to say too, I want to preface this by saying I'm not showing you this footage to dunk on Kimmel and his audience and be like, oh, see, fuck you, hypocrites. Like now he gets censored. No, I'm showing you this to say, hey, look, this was you a while back. So now that you've experienced this firsthand, hopefully you're on the same page with us that even if it's someone you disagree with, and to be fair to Kimmel, he did give credit to Candace Owens and Tucker and a couple of people who defended him and said he shouldn't have been taken off the air for the comments. So kudos to him for that. But this is the reason I'm pulling this up, because we should not be allowing ridiculous, partisan team sportism to allow us to kind of like circumvent this one, treasured principle that we should all live by, that, the freedom of speech is not the freedom from consequences, but it's ultimate. And people can say things, whatever they want, even if it's insightful, even if it's violent, even if it's mean. And they're going to have to suffer the consequences for that. If it's insightful, they're going to suffer consequences for that. If it's violent, there's laws against that. You can't incite violence. So the freedom comes with some baggage, sure, but it's an ultimate freedom. And whether Tucker Carlson's saying something about white nationalism you dislike, or, an advocate for George Floyd is saying something about Black Lives Matter you dislike, they're all allowed to say it, and the chips fall where they may. So let's see what Jimmy had to say about Tucker Carlson a few years ago when it was Tucker who was under the gun for saying things the establishment didn't like.
Fox News has severed bow ties with Tucker Carlson. After all these years, they are parting ways, which means he was fired. I mean, that's really what parting ways means. Tucker couldn't be reached for comment. He's already on a plane to Moscow to meet with his manager. But what a shock. I mean, what an absolutely delightful shock this is. Now Tucker can spend more time at home tanning his testicles and touching himself to that sexy green M&M. Sadly, he's probably not done poisoning old people's brains. The question now is, where will he do it next? Will he go to OAN? Will he go to Newsmax? Will he crawl back up Satan's fiery beehole from whence he came? We don't know. One of the most despicable mother Tuckers ever to appear on American television. Fox News.
So there you go. Very classy takes there from Jimmy. And ironically, Tucker has a much, much larger audience than Jimmy does and is completely independent of any kind of corporate control. So he can't be fired from his new audience, unlike Jimmy, who still works for Disney Corporation and, will have to do their bidding no matter what. So here's another video from Timcast back when Roseanne was fired, of Jimmy kind of, basically celebrating that as well. Another celebration of someone's firing he didn't agree with.
Of terrible things posted online. The biggest story of the day today was Roseanne. Roseanne, you're not going to believe this, but she tweeted something outrageous. I know. Yeah, right. The president did it too. It's crazy. Anyway, ABC decided to cancel their highest rated show, Roseanne, following a tweet in which Roseanne compared an African-American woman, a former advisor to President Obama, to an ape, which did not sit well with ABC management or anyone with a brain, really. So they announced that this first season of the show is also its last, which is a huge blow.
No, I want to say, too, what Roseanne said, too, is I'm not defending. And I don't like what she said, but I also want to say that I feel like in a case like that, it's really Disney's decision. And in the case with Kimmel, the same thing. It's really their decision as a private company to fire people that embarrass them, And Roseanne said something that was, I believe it was kind of racist, whether you agree or disagree with the policies of Obama and the people that were employed by him doesn't mean you get to compare them to apes or like make some kind of a racist statement like Roseanne made, especially when you have a very popular television show on a very highbrow corporate network. That's embarrassing to them, I'm sure, and rightfully so. And so they have a right to fire you. The Jimmy Kimmel case, I think, is just par for the course when you're making fun of the president of the United States, especially Trump, who deserves every bit of it and relishes in it as well. But I want to show you just some of the other commentators who are a little bit hypocritical about this. We've always, as always, we're going to bring in our good friends from everyone's favorite show, The View, who in their right mind doesn't want to hear what The View has to say on it, especially if you're a woman. They speak for you, ladies. These women speak for you. You know it. That's what we're told, right? That's how it is. Sunny Hostin on Today on Jimmy Kimmel's firing. Our founders drafted the First Amendment to protect the rights of citizens to criticize the government. Sunny Hostin in 2018 on Roseanne's firing. You must pay the consequence. Firing her was the right thing to do. Now, again, it's just pointing out how hypocritical these people are. But again, in the case of Roseanne, I think ABC had good reason to give her the axe.
Our founders drafted the First Amendment specifically to protect the rights of citizens to criticize the government. When you cross that kind of societal norm, you must pay the consequence. And firing her was the right thing to do. I'm thrilled that ABC did it. Our founders.
Yay. So anyway, I really just want people to be consistent. I don't care what your beliefs are. Just be consistent. If you're pro-life, don't support the death penalty. Be consistent. You're pro-life. You can't say, I'm pro-life and I support the death penalty. That doesn't make sense. You're not pro-life. You support the fucking death penalty. I don't care. Oh, well, those people are guilty. So are the babies. The women who had the babies, they deserved it. They had it coming. No. It doesn't. There's plenty of people that are on death row who are falsely accused that are innocent. So you cannot make an argument that you're for the death penalty and you're also pro-life. It's just, it does not compute in any rational, logical mind. Be fucking consistent in everything you do, and I will respect you. If you're not consistent, though, I'm not going to respect you. And that's why I don't respect people like MSNBC either. I'm going to show you again, have the same kind of take. I mean, I haven't. Who respects MSNBC, really? Let's be honest. Like, who has respected MSNBC since, you know, the Keith Olbermann era of MSNBC, which was, what, 20 years ago now? Maybe 25 years ago? I'm really dating myself, am I not? Anyway, here's another clip of just people being vapid hypocrites. It's your boy Chris.
Ongoing campaign to
Chris. I was going to say Chris
made the
Matthews.
announcement Kimmel would indeed be taken off the air indefinitely. And this is just the latest
Totally
chapter
drawn a
in
blank on Chris
Donald
Hayes,
Trump's
sorry.
ongoing
Right
campaign
on his goddamn.
to crack down on free speech, dominate the media, and essentially render the First Amendment meaningless. So it was for the journeyman cable news host Tucker Carlson, just fired from his third network. He believed he could say anything, no matter how vile, no matter how disgusting, no matter how offensive, no matter how dehumanizing or belittling. And if you act like a sociopath over and over and over and over, you will become unpopular on the national stage. That's just like a basic principle. Over time, probably not going to work out well for you in the long run. Eventually, people
I love
will
how
be rightly offended, disgusted by it.
It's a national stage to them is the corporate media. You know, you'll become unpopular on a national stage, aka the media that I'm part of. And all of these people supported vast censorship during the pandemic. You know, whether they supported the firing of Tucker and Roseanne and Jimmy Kimmel or not, they all supported people being thrown off of social media and being, you know, fired from their jobs and run out of polite society for having any kind of questions about the prevailing status quo narrative in the legacy press at that time. So all of those people can shut all the fucking way up